皆さんこんにちはなのだ。いつもご視聴ありがとうなのだ。コメントや高評価してくださっている方にも本当に感謝なのだ。もしよかったらチャンネル登録もしてくれるととても励みになるのだ。今日はジャック・フラハーティ選手が大谷選手の普段の姿とワールドシリーズ優勝について語っていたので、そちらを見てリアクションしていくのだ。普段の大谷選手が垣間見えてとてもほんわかした気分になるのだ。それではよろしくなのだ。
World Series, man, a couple weeks ago. You've had some time to digest this, and you, dude, I'm a lifer Dodger. Hey, I'm a lifer Dodger.
Oh my goodness.
Life's changed. Like, what's the last couple of weeks been like for you? I know it's probably been a whirlwind.
It's been a whirlwind. It doesn't feel like it's. I was at dinner on Saturday night, and somebody there was like, "Didn't you guys win like 3 weeks ago?" And I had to like. I had to sit there and I like pulled up the calendar. I was like, how long has it been? It feels like it was like just yesterday. And then he said it and I was like, maybe it has been like a really long time that I've been celebrating this thing. And part of that was in my head, I knew like, okay, we had started to get back into, okay, we got to get ready for next year mode. And like was have been enjoying myself, just like celebrating it, talking to the guys, talking with everybody about it and like trying to take in all those emotions. And then but yeah, it's been crazy. I think 3 weeks since we won it and just enjoying every little part of it. Like it's been, to win it here was crazy.
Had a great just post-game celebration, man.
I think so. Yeah.
You've been labeled something.
Man, I did a signing and people were bringing me bottles of tequila. And I was like, I don't know if this is the reputation that I really want. Like it was, look, the parade was great. If you've seen recently, Mookie he released his podcast of all the guys at his house. I was sleeping when they recorded this. I took a nice nap.
You were just hungover.
I had a great day, and if you listen to Walker talk, like. That's kind of where I was at, but I was asleep and they were like, where are you? Are you coming? Eventually I made it to Mookie's house and we continued on from there. But yeah, I was like, they started bringing me that. I was like, I don't know if this is
Did you see when you did the parade, but it was like with local news or something and you kind of stumbled off the chair?
Oh yeah.
By the way, I'm talking about like post game. I watched that and I swear I was like, yeah, dude. I was so proud. I was like proud of you, dude. Yes. I was like, that's what you just won a World Series. Man. You balled out in the whole playoffs, obviously. And like, dude, you just beat the Yankees in the World Series. Like, I'm going to get hammered. I'm going to enjoy the shit out of this because you earned it.
Yeah, it was one of those, like everything was really like buttoned up from September, October. Right. We enjoyed after each round when we won, like team would get together, we'd go out, have some drinks and whatnot. But then it was like, once it was all over, it was like, everything was just like, thank goodness. Like we got it done. We won. Like, let's celebrate and enjoy it. And I may have enjoyed it a little bit too much, but some may say like, I did it right.
Ohtani, like, I don't know what these guy's a unicorn. I'm just curious, like, what is it like in the clubhouse? He hurts his shoulder. Are you guys like, oh shit, like,
well, I think the story's been told of the text he sent to the group of like, it was, I don't remember what it was verbatim. It was like, in 2020, Bellinger hurt his shoulder and he came back this year. Like, it'll be me. Like, I'll be fine. And and we were all flying. We were getting on the plane to fly to New York. It just won the first two. And we were all going to go out to dinner that night. We knew he wasn't going to be there, but it was one of those, like, we knew Show was going to be fine. Right. We didn't know how fine he was going to be.
Right.
But I mean, day to day, like Show is Show. He's not like, I don't mean that like he's like Showtime or anything. He just is like a pretty much like a regular dude. Yeah. Gets on the bus and I think he just gets on the bus, sits there, reads his comics, chills, like hangs out, does what he does, reads his comics, sitting in his chair, goes about his business, goes about his work. Got a smile on his face whenever you see him, and he's just not big time at all. Like we had a couple instances where we're on whether it was a bus ride like to the stadium or leaving, or we're leaving the stadium to go to the plane, and you've got there's certain guys that have their own seat
right
on the bus.
Yeah.
And Yamamoto was one of the last guys on. This happened a couple times. And, you've got guys offering up their seats, and then he goes and sits next to Shohei, and Shohei doesn't, he's like, Shohei's much bigger than Yama.
Big dude.
Like much bigger. And he's just sitting on the inside, or on the inside next to the window, and Yama's got the whole aisle and everything. And that's just like, for me, that depicts like who he is, where he's just like, whatever. Like it's not a big deal to him. You'd have a bunch of other guys with big egos that would do that. And then it was also pretty cool to say that there was $1 billion sitting in 2 seats right there.
Dude,
legitimately.
Were you there when Reggie threw the first pitch? Were you on the team yet?
No. Mm-mm.
He was super excited to meet you, Ohtani, right?
Well, he had no. So I tell this because I met him and I was like, I became like a fanboy because so Reggie was throwing, it was right after he got his Heisman back. So he was throwing the first pitch for the Dodgers. I caught it in full catcher's gear.
Nice.
I was down in the clubhouse. So I got to know Mookie a little bit and some of those guys. And I'm down there and Walker had walked by me. I'm full geared helmet, getting ready to stuff. I'll show you a video after. And I'm talking to Mookie. He's like, dude, what the fuck you doing here? I said, yo, I'm catching Reggie's first pitch out there. This was like 5 minutes before, he's like, oh, I'm gonna come watch that. And then Walker goes by. And then Shohei just comes out of nowhere. He just walks up to me. He goes like this. And I was like, that literally out of nowhere. I was like, he had no clue who I was. He was like, but to your point, he was just like the nicest human being in that 3 seconds. And I looked at the camera. I'm like, I'll show you Ohtani. It was like the coolest moment ever, man.
最後までご視聴いただき本当にありがとうなのだ。ワールドシリーズ優勝が選手にとってどれだけ大きいことなのか伝わってきたのだ。視聴者の私も一人でお祝いしたくらいなので、選手のみんなはきっともっと嬉しかったはずなのだ。友達欲しいのだ。またフラハキ選手とインタビュアーがシェアしてくれたエピソードからは大谷選手の人柄がにじみ出ていたのだ。大谷選手はやっぱりとってもいい人そうなのだ。だからきっとチームメイトといい関係を築けたり、スポンサーもたくさん応援してくれるのだ。そういったところが活躍につながっているかもしれないと思ったのだ。大谷選手の人柄エピソードはたくさんあるので、これからも紹介できたら嬉しいのだ。ちなみに皆様、現在パドレス移籍報道なども出ているようだけど、ジャック・フラハキ選手の来季はどうなると思いますか？僕の感想としては、ジャック・フラハキ選手にはぜひドジャースに残留してほしいと思っているのだ。というか難しいとは思うけど、今季のメンバーはみんな残ってほしいのだ。僕ちん甘々なのだ。皆さんはどう思いますか？契約するべきですか？ぜひコメント欄で教えてください。皆さんのコメントはいつも勉強になっているので、とても助かるのだ。それでは今回はこの辺りでさよならなのだ。本当にご視聴ありがとうございましたなのだ。